Hello again, Dr. Dustin Dippin here. I wanted to make a video about self-care. It's the holidays and sometimes we can run ourselves ragged with personal stuff, and frankly we see a lot of stuff come out in our patients during this time, our clients. And I just wanted to reflect on something. There was a psychiatrist that I knew of that used to say to patients, the only difference between me and you is that I'm sitting in this chair and you're sitting in that chair. And what they meant by that was that, we're all humans. We're all able to succumb to the same kind of sufferings, anxiety, depression, mental breaks, certainly dysregulated moods. Some of us are more susceptible to things like auditory visual hallucinations or states of mania, extreme depression. But in any case, we are all humans. We can all go into these states. And when we're taking care of other people, a part of us should understand with some humility, our own humanity, that we're able to fall into the same trappings as many of these folks, excessively using substances or just engaging in poor self-care behaviors, not sleeping enough or having relationships that aren't serving us, whatever it is that pushes us towards imbalance in our life. So I just wanted to take a minute, talk about self-care. The importance of making sure we're sleeping enough, that we're checking our own blood pressure or heart rate before we go check someone else's to make sure we're calm and we have what we need, we're hydrated, we eat well, things like that. Along with that, I think it's worth mentioning that when we work on an inpatient unit as providers, it's a lot of stress. If we're on the front line, we may actually be involved in physical altercations with people, potentially having to restrain them or even being assaulted by patients from time to time. I think it's really important to understand that we deserve the same care that we would give our patients. If you are suffering from mental health concerns due to interactions at your work, or certainly if you've been physically assaulted or felt like you had an emotional assault, talking to somebody, coming forward, reporting what's going on for you is really important so that we can help you, so that we can support you. We'd like to create a culture in which all people feel they can receive the same care and ideally healing that anybody who presents to the Brattleboro retreat should be able to receive. And in receiving our own care and taking care of ourselves, we'll be better able to offer care to others with compassion and caring, really coming from a place from understanding and empathy, rather than feeling like this is just a job or some degree of resentment about having to take care of other people's needs when we feel like we may be shortchanging ourselves. This is the underpinnings of a lot of mental health stuff. Certainly kind of codependency is the idea that someone takes care of someone else without taking care of their own needs. And often the person that's taking care of others hopes at some point in the future someone would take care of their own needs. But we really just need to be mindful of taking care of ourselves to the best of our ability and asking for help, letting others know when we're not doing well, when we need something, when we're hurt, when we're suffering. And like I said in the beginning, just being aware that we can fall into the same trappings and suffer the same sorts of circumstances that other people in our care may be suffering themselves. And I'm sure I'm speaking to the choir because many of the people that work at the Brattleboro retreat with me here probably got into this line of work because they either had a family member or they themselves went through their own healing journey and kind of through mental health and such. So anyway, this is going to be a shorter video in some ways. I wish you all a great holiday, and hopefully you're able to be mindful about how to take your own pulse, put on your oxygen mask, do some self-care, eat well, sleep well, making sure you're maintaining balance between having a good time and taking care of yourself, working and living your lives. I wish you all well. Take care. Bye.